A series of wins can create the illusion of reliability in any method, even when most of the success stems from luck. Following applause and praise, individuals tend to weave narratives that make their success seem inevitable. The mind prefers clear connections, often overlooking randomness and substituting it with confident rationalizations. In instances of noisy results, brief streaks of success can appear significant, while delayed feedback prevents timely corrections to beliefs. This cognitive error can lead individuals to embrace greater risks, mistakenly believing they have demonstrated skill. This also fosters inequitable evaluations, where one individual is celebrated while another is criticized for similar strokes of luck. Imagine a workplace where bonuses are tied to the previous quarter's performance, and employees explain their outcomes through confident narratives. This dynamic subtly rewards fortunate timing while penalizing cautious decisions that unfortunately coincide with unfavorable periods. We'll soon explore how luck remains hidden, how averages can mislead, and develop a mindset grounded in probabilities. This video draws inspiration from Fooled by Randomness by Nassim Taleb, so subscribe for more insightful tools for clear thinking. Luck can foster a compelling record because random sequences naturally generate clusters of positive outcomes. When observers focus solely on the record, they often attribute success to skill, disregarding the invisible influence of chance. This transforms unpredictable success into unwarranted confidence, which can lead to leverage, larger bets, and fragile plans. If the context changes, a previously successful method can suddenly fail, yet earlier triumphs continue to influence reputations. In financial markets, a brief run of profits can result from being positioned when volatility remained low. Conversely, another individual may manage risk vigilantly and still incur losses simply because rare downturns manifested early. The important takeaway is not that skill is entirely an illusion. Rather, outcomes alone can't distinctly separate skill from luck. Without this distinction, people may mimic the wrong behaviours, mistaking randomness for a personal attribute. A practical step is to document decisions, assumptions, and risk limits, not just the end result. Another helpful approach is assessing what outcomes were possible and how frequently they would occur under similar processes. Post-event, memory tends to be edited until the outcome feels foreseen. This hindsight bias obscures genuine uncertainty, even though uncertainty was prevalent at the moment. When the past appears orderly, individuals tend to overestimate the reliability of forecasts while underestimating the multitude of potential outcomes. They may also categorize negative outcomes as mistakes, even when decisions were reasonable based on the available information at the time. A risky project may succeed if a critical delay fails to happen, leading to praise for audacity. In contrast, the same project might fail with just one unexpected disruption, and identical planning would then be criticized as reckless. Recognizing these alternative scenarios helps us anchor judgments in probability rather than storytelling. It also clarifies that a single outcome represents just one possibility among many. To minimize hindsight bias, document your reasoning before you make any decisions, including your expectations and potential surprises. Afterward, assess whether your decision-making process aligned with those expectations, rather than just evaluating the outcome. Many real-world results are distorted because a small number of extreme events can dominate overall outcomes. In such situations, linear thinking can lead to failure, as even minor variances can result in significant differences in outcomes or losses. Averages can be misleading because the typical scenario often bears little resemblance to the rare events that skew those averages. This explains why prolonged periods of stability can obscure underlying risks, only to be shattered by a single, disruptive event. A business or career might experience slow growth for years, but a single deal or change in market dynamics can exponentially increase income. Conversely, another venture might consistently perform well, yet never encounter the extraordinary circumstances that lead to substantial gains. When luck and outliers shape results, evaluating competence requires examining the broader distribution of outcomes rather than focusing on isolated incidents. This perspective emphasizes the importance of safeguarding oneself against catastrophic losses over merely seeking slightly higher average returns. Develop a habit of considering the worst plausible scenarios and whether recovery would be attainable. If these insights help you prepare for extreme situations, consider subscribing to enhance your decision-making framework. When examining success stories, recognize that focusing only on winners can mislead you into thinking visibility equals superiority, thus overlooking the full range of participants. Survivorship bias obscures failures, as those who falter often leave few traces for later evaluation. This skewed perspective makes success appear more prevalent and reproducible than it actually is. It can also impart misleading lessons, since the traits you observe may be common among both winners and losers. Notably, a list of prosperous investors showcases their remarkable gains, but neglects the many who took similar risks and ultimately failed. A review of best-selling books highlights creative practices, but seldom accounts for similarly diligent writers who fade into obscurity. Acknowledging these hidden failures helps to highlight the role of chance in outcomes, keeping your expectations grounded. It also encourages a focus on strategies that withstand misfortune, rather than those that rely on perfect conditions. When studying success stories, question the criteria used to curate the sample and identify who may have been left out. Then, seek out base rates and failure rates to ensure your conclusions are data-driven rather than based on admiration. Randomness becomes perilous when individuals interpret uncertainty as mere narrative instead of acknowledging a spectrum of possible outcomes. Thinking in terms of probabilities requires estimates, but it also recognizes that those estimates can be weak and incomplete. This approach can temper overconfidence by distinguishing what is possible from what is probable. Moreover, it emphasizes option value, where small investments today could protect you from significant losses in the future. Those who focus solely on the most likely scenarios may overlook rare disasters and later deem them unpredictable. In contrast, individuals who adopt an expected value mindset weigh both magnitude and probability, thus steering clear of strategies that could lead to ruin. These habits help keep your mind grounded so you're not misled by fortunate streaks or simple narratives. They also contribute to the larger goal of minimizing exposure to hidden risks rather than attempting to forecast exact outcomes. Implement straightforward rules like position limits and predefined exits to ensure that one unexpected event doesn't jeopardize everything. When you feel certain about something, pause and ask yourself what information could alter your perspective, then actively seek that information. The main objective isn't flawless prediction, but rather improving judgment amidst uncertainty and complexity. Embracing randomness allows you to stop judging every outcome as a reflection of your intelligence or self-worth. You've seen how chance can obscure skill and how hindsight alters the past to create tidy narratives. You've also discovered how skewed distributions, survivorship bias, and thinking in options redefine what constitutes a clever strategy. Over time, this mentality reduces unnecessary regret as you focus on processes and probabilities instead of fixating on individual results. It fosters resilience because you prepare for bad luck without needing constant explanations or justifications. Start small by defining one decision rule you will adhere to, even when emotions urge exceptions. Gradually refine your rules as new insights emerge, while maintaining humility about what you cannot predict. With this mindset, chance becomes a manageable factor in your decisions rather than a narrative you have to accept blindly. If you're interested in more insights like this, subscribe and continue learning how to make informed choices in uncertain situations.